We joined back in with our adventurers as they had finished the parade and finally begun the Doomhakre in full. As they set up on the starting line, the crowds gathered around them in anticipation. The loud bang of a starting gun and everyone setting off at breakneck speed. In the lead currently, we still only just by a margin. To be fair, we have the slate crawlers. Just checking, with only one of our contenders already out. The firebolts exploding in a large fireball thrown by Tabitha from the back of the Azure Flyer. We join back in now at the top of the round. The crowd is going absolutely mental at the first initial explosion. And though you can hear the dull echo of somebody talking and describing with thaumaturgy, it's almost just noise in the background right now as you grip your weapons or the steering wheel and continue forward. So top of the round is on Tool's Dawn, little Kimmy with the flamethrower.
Little Kimmy.
So yes, you would see on the back of the Tool's Dawn a goblin that is strapped up and harnessed to the like side rail, and you see as they like run up the sort of side, and the whole flamethrower machine like is on a guided rail itself as it slides along with them up the side of the vehicle, bringing them to here, and then they blow a gout of flame forwards towards Tabitha and the back of the Azure Flyer. Just enough to reach both Tabitha and the driver, you notice, but not close enough to actually get to where the engine is at the front. You see it sort of coats the entire back of the vehicle. So Tabitha. Okay. Okay, so you see that Moonshadow Jr. seems to do a good job of ducking low as the gouts of flame move over their head, managing to take half damage, and they weave and dodge with the vehicle to stop it being like blasted from one spot for too long. Tabitha, however, and all of you actually give me perceptions as you see Tabitha just disappears in a gout of flame.
13.
26.
7.
7.
Ooh. Perception 12.
Okay. So for Volu, what was Dante, sorry?
13.
Okay, so for Volu and Dante, and to be honest, all of you except Eleni, Tabitha just disappears in this gout of flame, and when they reappear, they are like smoking and cindering. Eleni, with the 26, first of all, you notice that whatever mechanics like jettison them up into the air so that they can fire from height, they're strapped into that. So you see that they're not as able to duck and dive in the first essence. However, as they're sort of clearing out, you would catch a faint, almost like red glow around them, and you would maybe recognize like absorb elements as a spell to protect themselves. But damaged nonetheless. As we come down to Dante.
So
technically, Dante and Ichi are both on 21s. Obviously, I will allow in these breakneck moments for you, if it benefits you, to act interchangeably. But it is a full. It would be like Ichi goes, then you go. Still, you can't like action, that sort of thing, right? But,
yeah.
I feel like in these kind of at least beginning moments, if Dante goes first, because where we end up, I feel like will influence more than where we are.
Did we sort out because we spoke about it, but we never actually said we did it or not. Ichi Steed.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to
last
do it at the
session-
top.
Yeah,
last
yeah, but
session-
so it's there already.
Yeah,
He sent
last
it there
session
last
when
night.
we
Okay,
were
cool.
spent our night in the tavern, I said to Liam, I send my steed up to like
That's fine.
the bit before the jump so that I can get in front and lead us
Yeah.
rather than last minute hop on.
That's absolutely fine. I had sudden worry that fuck, did we forget to summon it?
No, of course, no. He's up there waiting.
So Dante, sorry, as you sort of look to your right, you can see the desert hopper vehicle just behind. Barter currently out of view, messing with something in the back, and Podri, the orc, sat on the crossbow.
Did you say Barter is like kind of tied to the thing?
Both of the people on the back, similarly to you, have it's hard to tell at this distance. It could be chain. Doesn't look like chain at this distance though. But it also doesn't just look like rope. It's almost like a black smooth leather
Am I seeing where they're tied to? Like, is it
to the rails, and it's kind of like yours in that it slides, but only between a small section. If you get me, like whereas
how many-
yours
is
have been
on
able to
Barter?
move all the way across. What? Sorry.
How many is on Barter?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Barter's
So,
the
like,
person.
How
Yeah,
many
yeah.
people are on the desert hopper?
No. As in how many? So
Each person has one.
as one. I want to use telekinesis to try to undo Barter's rope.
Okay, is that action?
No bonus.
Okay, sweet. So as you sort of peeking and get a look, I don't know what kind of role this would be. I'm going to say it would be your intelligence, because I think it's the spell casting. That's what you do your telekinesis with. So yes, we'll say intelligence, just a straight intelligence roll. To see if from this angle at these speeds you can.
So as
quickly
technically
figure
I
out.
don't actually have spells or no spells with a
No.
modifier. What am I adding? Is it
There's no, just straight intelligence.
Oh, just straight.
Roll plus intelligence.
Oh, okay. Do I have any guidance on me at the moment?
You do have one, didn't you?
No, you
No, we
Have
haven't.
you used it?
No, he's using enhance ability.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So we know.
and it's on your decks.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
decided enhance would be better because every turn
Advantage.
he would have to waste an action to give guidance, whereas now it's
Makes
just
sense.
he can do other things.
17.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you've got it as well, Ichi.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like sort of like, because it's more that you're figuring out what kind of, is it a knot? What kind of knot? Is it a hook like yours? Is it a clasp? Like at this distance, while like you're sat in the cockpit trying to see, but you do catch a glimpse, and it seems to be almost tied in like a loop knot fashion, and you do manage to unhook it. But almost like the second it comes off, you would see them starting to notice. It's not their turn yet. They can't do anything about it. But that's just almost like starting to slip off. And they're like, how does this come under? They're sort of like looking at as it's, as you're moving.
Yeah.
And
telekinesis is invisible and all that.
Yeah. Their hand would sort of like almost be, you can see that they're looking to grab on and, make sure they don't fall off, etc. Anything else with your move and action?
Move just straight forward.
Straightforward.
So I'll just.
If you draw the arrow, and
I believe I've just done it. So I'm just going to double check, but I think that's because it is 80, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, as the pouring smoke out of the left and right, as you, to be fair, even though this isn't as fast as some of the others, you're still going a decent pace compared to the coach rides you've had previously through the city. And definitely without all the extra chunky, additions and all the luxury seating and stuff, you do have a fair bit of pace. Also, I think it's 90, so we need to move you. It's 45. Is it not 45?
Yeah, 45.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, in that case, just
moved you two
no,
more forward.
no, I didn't want to go that way.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to go like 10 feet, kind of diagonal.
So they
Upwards or
are they
downwards?
50, Liam, and we're just 45. We're just 5 slower.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, as you almost do like a small sweep as you're pulling in front of the sandstorm, almost blocking them from their view. As we come to Ichi.
I'm going to just call out and be like, "Somebody get that! What is the thing? I can. Somebody get the hook ready."
Okay,
Or the grapple.
that's
The
on
ballista.
the ballista. To do what with?
Hit. If when these cars pass,
Right,
they're
yeah.
going.
Prep.
Yeah, not necessarily fire yet, but be ready to.
Ichi is, as you're kind of like calling that back, and as they're kind of like getting ready to look around, Ichi will turn to Dante. Remember to be in the center when we get to the caves, otherwise we might hit the wall.
Shit.
We've got
Zoom
time.
out zoom out the map.
Yep,
Yeah.
seen that.
Yep, the ramps. Remember the center, Dante.
We've got time to come back in.
Also, what's
Or
the
some crazy
name?
drive turns and do like a zigzag around the outside.
Oh god, let's not Tokyo drift our way around this.
I was going to say as well to remind you all, while you are only 5 foot slower in speed, the Cinder engine can bonus action move, which you are unable.
So
to do.
overall, they're 15 feet faster than
Yeah.
us every time.
No,
More.
overall they
Oh,
are
sorry.
60.
60, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
55.
The president.
And to be honest, sorry, go on. Ichi.
So the president of this city, the one whose
Aylar
the one
Moonshadow.
whose son was in this race.
Aylar
What's his
Moonshadow.
name?
Aylar.
Aylar. You
Moonshadow
and I
Junior.
saw what happened. I don't know if these two, we didn't tell them, did we? Not yet.
No, and so for our audience, Eleni and Ichi spied something from one of the other racers last week that Volu and Dante didn't quite catch.
With that, like the leaning over, very Mad Max of, like holding on to whatever like pole I've got, leaning out, turning to Dante. Remember to be in the center. Also, Moonshadow, he swapped out before the race. That isn't him anymore.
What?
I don't know. There was a decoy or something. He was in the parade and he was there, but that's not him anymore. They swapped. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, nothing like in this moment being like, oh yeah, by the way, this shit's happening. That's oh bloody! they updated stuff and things have moved around again. How far away are you? Which one's the one that just full on wrecked our gnome friends?
Oh, way over on the other side. That's on the Azure
Far
Flyer,
left, far
Tabitha,
top.
the blue.
Yeah.
You're
That's the one with the
definitely-
decoy
Yeah.
driver.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one
that-
with that's Moonshadow's car.
Damn. How dare they be so far away?
Yeah, they are a definite
But
threat.
the guys behind us are the ones that Madame Oracle wants us to mess with.
Yeah, the sandstorm are directly behind
But
us
also,
now.
I will remind you that they want you to mess with them after the first leg of the race. You will all remember that bit because that was they want it out of public eye line and quick cleric access.
True.
They want they want that vehicle intact, though, don't they? Preferably.
Mm.
And it's the one that's about 30 feet behind them, but it's got Bart on it, and Bart's the one we're meant to kind of take out.
So Barter's on the further one. Barter's on the Desert Hopper. That's the one that
the one at the back.
That Dante's just released the rope of. He's the first one. He's the one directly behind the driver. That one. And in the sandstorm, you can see the water ganassi that was named Estuary previously. And they are just goggles on, hands in, fixed. And as you pass them, they're not even really paying attention.
I am going to, as I'm kind of like leaning there, I'm also gonna slap, like run my hand up to my chest, strike the sword across it, cause it to spark. The iris in the armor will begin to glow, and I'm going to use my. Oh, how long does this last? A minute. Cancel that. No, I'm not. I'm not going to waste that yet. I'm just going to use my action to, I guess, draw the bow and take a very undexterous shot.
Okay, go for it.
Who
Which is currently is fire enhanced. For whoever's measuring, they're 50. Remember, not 55. You're 45. They're 50.
With the chaos of everything, I think I might take this moment to try and pop those guys who hurt our friends. I'm gonna draw the bow, like one arm through a bar to hold on, draw the bow back, and kind of like trying to hold it still will release to our friends that blew up our gnome.
Okay, directly at Tabitha, the vehicle, or the driver. Driver, you can see has partial cover.
I'm gonna go for Tabitha, the one who
Yeah, makes sense.
actively detonated.
Did it. She did it.
Jesus Christ. Enhance ability, does that give me advantage on this attack? Even because it's using dexterity? It doesn't,
unfortunately not.
It's a shame.
Cool.
I'll
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautifully done.
Oh my god.
It will definitely hit. So you've got the D8 from the bow, the D6 from the fire, and both of them will double.
Plus your dex.
Plus, yeah, you do. Well, plus.
Well,
No,
take
he's
away
got
my
minus one.
dex.
Yeah, you don't take it away, luckily.
Still plus -1.
That's
okay,
not
so
good.
that is a grand total of 5, because that was a 3 from the bow, a 3 from the fire, double to. Oh wait, no, so 12.
Double to 12.
Double to 12, so 11.
No, you don't actually -1. I'm not that mean.
It's what D&D Beyond's telling me to -1.
Oh, I mean, I would have done. That's exactly how it is.
Okay, I'll go with it. 11 points.
Damn it!
11 points nonetheless. As
He was merciful.
Too honest, guys. Too honest.
The arrow soars through the air over the field. Again, like you can almost hear the announcer catching and describing it. There's those weird moments where they almost say what you're doing as you're drawing the bow, and the arrow lands true, and you see Tabitha takes a heavy hit, and you would see that they've used the reaction already, so they don't. They seem to sink down into the chair. They shout something that you're too far away to hear, but they shout something at the driver. Anything else?
No, that's me.
Only the one attack?
Oh wait, no, yeah, I forget because it's a longbow. I'm sat here like I can only do one.
No.
Second attack. Let's go. Come on, nat 20 again. Let's go. Nope, I miss. That's an 8.
Yeah, the second one soars past.
I almost get like 2. Like I hit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm great with a but, and I just let go too early, and it just goes 5 feet and just into the ground. It's like, oh, shit.
But you didn't account for the movement on the second one, and it just out and back.
The guys right behind us were like, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, in which case, after Ichi, you would. Oh no, they're right near that tank. So you would see that the Trident crew that originally seemed to burst forward, and Lenny, you noticed that the flame was coming out of the right side.
Yeah.
That engine, that like flame gout seems to cut for a second as they almost coast. They move almost parallel, not parallel, well, perpendicular to themselves. So like they almost like slide out. And as they do, the one that's closest to you on the far right of the map leans out, fishes something from the pocket, and just sticks it to the front of the large tank thing.
Ooh.
Before pulling back and setting off again, moving forwards as they. So they went 10 foot to the thingy, so they can go 10, 20, 30, 40. And then, as I consider that action, and then bonus action 10, 20, 40, 50. And burst forwards, trying to get some distance in between whatever it is they've just done. You would also notice, those with the high perceptions, the person on the back of the wayfinder is like frantically tapping the driver on the back, like go, 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 go. Trying to I don't know what they just did. After which it is the slate crawler driver. So the slate crawler does begin to burst forwards. Chris, can you give me the 150 forwards from the driver of the bottom one, please, again?
Yeah, sure.
As they burst forwards, they go forwards to about here, but do start to pull over. So they're going to come to here.
Where's here?
There. Which is 110. And then they're going to 10, 20, 30, 40. They sort of pull to here. They've got 140. And you see them pull out and sort of, they almost drift in that sort of expectant way. It's like they burst into position and then they're waiting for something. That is the driver. You would notice that the large, I forgot what they were. Sorry, 1 second. The large bugbear on the back of the vehicle, you see, is currently like reaching down and putting together and produces what seems to be like an almost lance-like pole arm that like swings out, and they set themselves up at the back of the vehicle, almost in like a planted, like prepped for a charge, like where they're like foot planted. Pole arm straight out of the back of the vehicle, almost holding, ready to attack anything that approaches. So from the back of the desert hopper, Barter sort of appears holding some sort of like it almost looks like a mix of liquid and bubbles. It's like almost like it's fizzing and bubbling, but it's in a bottle, and they're like mixing it up, and they like hold expectantly. Oh no, sorry, I forgot they were untied. So they were actually you would see the bottle in their hand, but they're almost like shit, no, and they will actually spend their action. Sorry, I nearly forgot, retying themselves back on. So let me do a roll for that.
That was kind of
Please
saying
fail.
what I was like doing. I was just like, I'm going to make you waste this. It's either that or you're going off.
But you would also see, not in like a panicked, but in like a hurried way, hands the fizzing bottle to the orc that's next to them. Just like, fuck, get rid, like that sort of vibe. As their driver puts down the foot and begins to move forward as well. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 10, 20, 30. They come forwards and ram, or attempt to ram at the very least, straight into, they burst round, cutting you off from their ally and try to jut into the back of the. Do you still have the stats from that I sent you from last week, Chris?
There's a picture on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just need to get that back.
It definitely hits with an 18 to hit, as you all feel like a to the back of the vehicle. Can everyone make me a strength? So it's actually all of you have advantage because you're tied on, but it's a strength saving throw,
Strength
please.
save.
Would I
Remember
do
now,
I need to do that because I'm boxed?
yours is more to keep control. Like as it bumps, you don't want to turn or whatever. Ichi, are you at the level where you now provide the?
Yeah, I was going to say we have
Please
leveled
don't
up,
forget
so I
your-
now have Aura of Protection. Everyone gets a +3.
Oh, amazing!
Okay.
Well, instead of the +1, instead
As
of
well as on top
or
of
as
what
well
you
as.
have. Yeah.
Nice.
Everything. So you roll it at advantage, add your strength saving throw, and then add 3 after that.
My D&D Beyond's just decided to stop working, so
That's
I'm gonna have
okay.
to roll.
Same.
10
Won't let me.
points of
Yeah,
damage.
won't let me roll.
It's
So
not
I'll.
rolling anything. Yeah, is it done?
No,
to you
don't worry.
too?
So
Everyone
I've
switch
now
over
just
your
got
dice.
plus. I've
if you want.
got +4. That's all I need to remember now.
+4.
10 points of damage, Chris. So you're.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Nat 20.
The vehicle you would, for your noting, Chris, just because you would sort of be able to take stock of how damaged it is, currently on 14 points of damage total.
Where
That's
was the extra 4 come from?
the first 4 was no,
We
that shouldn't have
haven't-
been on you. That was the other one. It's 10 total. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So that's
Okay. So after they ram you,
just for save. I with Ichi's thing 24. Oh, that
okay, yeah.
And-
So
And I got a 23.
Bolly.
24.
hey Lenny's natural 20, baby.
I wish I got
Okay.
a nat 1 because I get re-rolls on ones.
You got
Mm.
2.
Oh.
I got a 2, so 6.
Oh, Volu. As you were
Even at advantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
You've got
Don't forget
advantage.
advantage. Don't forget advantage.
nat 20.
Yes.
So you know what, right? So literally, Volu, you were just reaching over and you just tapped Dante on the shoulder, and you were just trying to like, you know that like, when you're like over a fence and you have to kind of wiggle your legs a little bit to give you the force to come back. You're in the midst of doing that when the vehicle, and you literally begin to feel yourself like up, off, and like you're going to go up over in front of the vehicle. However, the tether does, and you sort of swing and land in Dante's lap.
Oh.
Safe and secure, but in Dante's lap at the minute.
Brilliant.
Chris, that wouldn't be your reaction in real life, and you know that.
Not real life though, is it?
And as they slam into the back of you, the orc at the back is going to like throw the fizzing bottle forwards. However, only with a 7, it lands like 10 feet to out the front, and you see it like almost is like a shockwave of air and gusting wind that blows up, but you would see that it goes like more upwards. It's like a 5-foot column that like shoots upwards to like 10-15 feet. You imagine again toppling is their objective on that. They're going to try and hit under a side and flip one side of you higher than the other. However, with the miss, all good. However, you then see the sandstorm. Almost, Dante, you're almost better sightline on it at the minute as you all hear this like as flames gout out of the side engines, and their claim of being faster might actually be true. As they 10, 20, 30, 40.
Do they have to like bend around us a bit?
80. That's a 70 there, sorry. So they, and let me just do a driver's check to see how clean that was. Okay, with a 17 on the drive check, they, in one movement, pulse around you for 70 movement. You see like the gouts of flames and the engines like shuddering from the front of their vehicle as they again go again for
140.
60, 70. And as they hit that point next to it, they sort again, the whole vehicle is gouting flame. The crowd roars as you hear that extra pulse. This was definitely a show as they're almost drifting the back of the vehicle to kick up extra dust and such in the way. As we then come to the Azure Flyer. So, in response to the almost like punching and kicking from Tabitha to Moonshadow or fake Moonshadow Jr. in the front seat, they reach down and pull a lever, and you see that Tabitha's seat retracts fully and encloses in like a shielded metal, like cover. You feel it like pulls inwards, and they disappear from view completely. Before then, again, blasting forwards. Pulling forward, again leaving the dust trail behind. They seem to be keeping this outer edge, and Tabitha seems to just stay hidden for the moment. As we come to Eleni.
Right. So some questions.
Mm-hmm.
The ballista. It's a ballista, not a trebuchet, right? I nearly said trebuchet. The ballista, is that it's just one attack?
So if it's just one attack, you can attack with it. Basically, you're limited to 2 because once you've shot, it's a reaction to reel it in.
Yeah.
So once you've spent that reaction, you can shoot again if you have the attacks to shoot again. But then after that, you don't have the reactions to reel it back in if you miss with the second shot, if that makes sense.
So if I shoot someone but want to grapple them and pull us closer, is that also the reaction to do that?
Yeah, the actual pulling closer is the...
Okay. So I am going to try, and I'm going to try and hit speedy guys. The shadow of the sandstorm.
Okay.
Because they should be in range, right?
They definitely are in range.
From
and just remember, so we have to get more than 4 damage for it to hook, but we are rolling 3 dice. Because this
I'm going to let you tell me as I do this, because otherwise it'll not work. So
you also, for me, need to roll at disadvantage, and I'll explain why afterwards.
That's mean. So am I rolling like my normal longbow, my normal +8?
Yes, it is a basic, whatever your ranged attack that you have.
Okay. So let's try. Let's see what happens. This might not roll on. Oh, there it did. Damn. So that's only a 10.
Okay, so you fire off the ballista, and the spiked bolt is flying true. You see that they effectively took the dodge action, which you can do as well, Dante. You can essentially use an action to dodge.
Who are you shooting, sorry?
The sandstorm.
These guys. Hang on, I'm not.
And almost in this jittering state, the vehicle's like shifting left and right as the bolt just into the dirt. And
so they moved twice and got to have the dodge action as well.
Move, bonus action, action dodge.
So they've got extra. So I'm going to reaction reel that back in.
Yep. As it just.
And then I'm going to try again.
Go for it. It's still at disadvantage.
I don't think I've got anything to stop that either. 21.
Eleni focuses in, eyes. It's literally like almost, zipping backwards and forwards, moving laterally left and right as it's moving, shifting forwards. Eleni predicts the next movement, fires it off. Hit me with the damage to see if you manage to hook your prey.
So what's the normal damage for that? Is it 2d8 or is it?
Yeah, what is it? Because my longbow's a 1d8 +3.
The normal thing is 2d8, and then it's plus your d6 of fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
2d8, 1d6.
And Eleni, you would remember from your practice, you can enhance and almost magic.
17 points damage. Oh, that is a move.
Almost with a loud the grapple pierces in, extends out, and there's a tight tugging of the wire. Obviously, unable to reel in right
I
this
can't reel in
moment,
again. Yeah.
but you have your prey stuck.
I don't know if this is good or bad. We're now attached to them.
That's fine.
We're attached
ready
to
to go
the
for a
rocket.
ride.
To the rocket. We're attached to the rocket.
I mean, to the moon, folks. To the moon.
Big hit. There is
Big
an
hit.
audible like roar from the crowd as almost like they almost don't see. It looks like a normal ballista shot until that tether tightens and they start pulling as they're still trying to jitter forwards. As we do that, we come to.
So hang on. I'm just double checking I've not got any bonuses that I can use. Don't think there is. Because I've used my actions. But I don't think I've got any bonus actions I want to do. Hang on.
Not unless you want to prep for next turn.
That doesn't help me. I'm not moving. Zephyr Strike feels like a waste because I'm not moving, but I could give myself advantage then.
And it's extra damage.
And it's extra damage.
But you've got the target right now, so you don't really. You would know next round.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
Theoretically, you're reeling and doing other things rather than you don't need to shoot again until you.
I'm gonna leave it till next round. I just wanted to check. So go on then.
Yep, all good. Okay, in which case, Dragon Fire, the large tank thing with the almost rolling forwards. It's definitely not. It's almost like I said last week. It is your speed at the 45 rather than the full. Although still seems able to boost as the Cinder engine allows. And the chorus of shouts of aim, reload, and the large ticking as the cannon. They aim over towards. It's hard to tell whether they're aiming at the slate crawlers or the sandstorm or both. And they sort of fix them in sight. There is almost an audible hush before. Okay, so first of all, there is a loud, and the Dragonfire vehicle is actually pushed backwards.
Wow.
5 feet from the direction that it was firing as it whole vehicle shifts. Even tethered, the driver of the sandstorm hears, sees, and avoids, pulling to the left as bait only missing on the disadvantage dice there. There is an explosion of dirt and rubble that covers both vehicles in front of you. It's not exploding in fire explosion. It was, something, but, huge, actual cannon sized, thumping the ground at heavy speed that's caused the eruption of, you then hear the reload as they are pulling forwards their 20, 30, 45.
Just a random thing. Say, because obviously they've got the dodge action, but technically, are they grappled now? I mean, grapple, I guess, only drops.
No, yeah, even grapple only stops your movement.
Yeah, okay, fine.
And this doesn't stop movement. Technically, like there is going to be some messing around, but I've done something separate for that turn.
I mean, I'm imagining they might pull us with them, but at least we should slow them down, right?
Yeah, too right. I was just wondering, say, like, if they're trying to dodge, but they're actually now being pulled back.
Well, they should be able to go sideways, though, as long as
they'll be able to do that.
That limit of the 120 or the 110 or whatever it was.
For sure. After Dragonfire, Volu sat in Dante's lap. You've got a fairly decent view right now.
I'll be like, oh, sorry, Dante, and then I'll kind of clamber out and I'll look towards the back of us.
I just love the moment when your foot is definitely in Dante's face and like climbing over the front of him.
Yeah, climb on his head as I'm trying to get out. And then as I'm climbing out, I'll aim backwards towards Bart and cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. So he needs 2 decks.
He does, yes.
Only a 12.
Fail.
Ooh.
Just feel free to damage away. Ooh, 12 points of
Nice.
damage.
Well,
You see the golden light like flame over them, and then shit, and they like drop down to the deck and try, like, you can hear them trying to like put themselves out. Obviously, magical flame, regardless. But anything else from Volu? You've not used all your movement, but I would say with your movement, you can definitely clamber back into the main. Like
I'm gonna clamber, like get ready to like be in position to hold again. And
any bonus?
Is there any bonus I could do? Not really in this instance.
Also, I will remind you stuff like basic item interactions. You get 1 free per turn. So, but just for Paul, I don't know if we've ever explicitly talked about that. Yeah, every turn you can have 1 free item interaction. So that could be getting something out of a pocket, wrapping something.
As long as it's
Oh,
close by,
As long as
opening
it's
a door.
easy and
Yeah.
as long as it's easy
Yeah.
and easy and simple to do.
So as I'm grappling on, I'll also grab my crossbow.
Yeah,
And then
easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay, after Volu, you see that over on the Trident vehicle, the person in the middle sort of sits up high, reaches down and pulls 2 pistols before aiming 1 back at the tank and 1 to their left towards the Azure Flyer. They will tank shot first. You see they shoot directly at that weird package that their friend had previously placed upon it. And you see the bullet hits and doesn't seem to do much, but there is a secondary explosion of almost like a small detonator going off on the front of the tank. Which, let me see if it compares its armor. Ooh, okay. Okay, so while like that explosion would have blown through any of the other vehicles that was just standing, but as the smoke clears, the vehicle's still rolling, but you can see almost a large dint and impression and tearing that definitely did some damage through to the main vehicle. So big damage to be fair. Okay. The other shot going towards the Azure Flyer driver. However, you see they duck at the last second and it off. What you all would see is as that bullet like hits and ricochets, it almost looks like a tracer round and is glowing red hot as it sparks off. There's almost like a flame as it off into the distance. Eleni, you to be fair, you would all recognize either magical enhancement or some sort of fire ammo. As that ricochets off into the distance, we then have the Tuil Dawn driver who is going to put it into gear. And I don't know if they want to stay there, to be fair. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 10, 20, 30. Okay, so you see, okay, nat 20'd it as well, so it looks smooth. As you see the driver puts into full gear and speeds in, and you can see that they're almost trying to cover themselves. Oh, no, they wouldn't actually. They do pull up. You would notice they are purposefully trying to keep close proximity with Azure Flyer. You would also notice as the next one, the person on the back pulls up what looks like a normal ballista, like it looks like a normal crossbow. But as they shoot, they and the second the bolt leaves the like range of the crossbow, it just doubles in size to like a ballista bolt and into the back of the Azure Flyer, into the still protected area that Tabitha is currently in. And on the other side, the other member of the final member of the Trident, you would see that they are almost like digging around and prepping something, mostly focused on the two that are on their immediate left. But they don't seem to do anything just a second. And finally, the Wayfinders. Yeah, the Wayfinders. They might be able to pull it. Let me see if they can. So the Wayfinders again. You can now sort of get the feeling that initial stage, a lot of people weren't going like all out. They were setting off, but they sort of held back from trying to do maneuvers and stuff. But as the race begins to kick off in full and people are pulling, there's grapples being shot out, people are starting to take their moves, and you would see that the driver of the Wayfinder begins to move forwards as they 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. They pull round, and as they get level with the Dragon's Flame, they try to do like a sweeping, like sort of like to cut them off style maneuver. But as they dip, the front end of the vehicle clips on the ground from the damage from the previous fireball, and they have to straighten out and keep going straight to save to not crash. Essentially, you see that as they pull out, though, almost not. You see, this is not as effective as they might want it to be because of the failed maneuver, but they release the coiled chains that like now fly 10, 15 feet out the back of the vehicle, and they're like digging into the ground behind them and kicking up stones and rocks and dirt. There's almost like a 10-foot wide dust cloud directly behind the Wayfinder now, for them to be trying to like obscure view. As we come back to top of the round. We start with Little Kimmy with the flamethrower, who Little Kimmy just won't quit. They are going to continue on the Azure Flyer. Everyone watching would notice a very focused, and if you would remember, Two Ill Dawn is sponsored by the Lauritzen Arcanum. And the Azure Flyer is obviously the one that is sponsored by the Academy and under the actual running of
Verdant Circle.
Yeah.
No, it's it's Moonshadow Junior, and Dante had sort of figured out that he definitely didn't have permission and he was sort of just doing his own thing. Dante had previously dobbed him in, but they seem pretty intent on pushing out the Azure Flyer as it once more they light the flamethrower and pulse it out forwards. Unfortunately, with the distance they've gained, the flames only cover the back area where Tabitha is and don't reach the driver. Driver needs to deck save for the vehicle. Again, and I will say all of you notice this, the driver in the vehicle is very good, as again they almost pull like a small dipping maneuver, dipping most of the damage mechanically for half damage essentially. As we come to Dante. So you've just been rammed from the back by the Desert Hopper, and as you sort of take a quick look, the front of their vehicle does have sort of extra protection and grating to sort of halt them taking major damage, and you will remember that their engine on this one is in the back.
Do I see where they had those throwable bomb things?
It's out of view. You can see where they're standing, but it's almost like down below the shielding.
And there's only two of them in there, isn't there? There's the driver and Barter.
No, so there's three. There's Barter. There's a orc on the crossbow that threw the thing because Barter couldn't throw it last time, and then the driver. You would remember that you saw Barter doing something in the first round. They were almost like preparing it before.
But Barter's tied himself back on.
He has. How well, you don't know, but he has. He seems happy with it.
Can I loosen it but not undo it?
Okay, so for that, I'm going to say it's not going to be an intelligence. I'm going to ask for a sleight of hand.
With my
Because-
intelligence modifier?
Yes, okay, with your intelligence modifier.
Actually, wait, no, scratch that. I want to do sleight of hand normally.
No, with your intelligence modifier. You asked for it, you get it.
15?
Okay. They don't seem to notice. They don't like immediately react like they did previously. And you think you have loosened it to the point that like a sharp tug would fully come undone. Maybe it might not be that. So like obviously you could pull it, but if he fell, it's not going to be that it just comes off and he's loose, but it will definitely undo at the point he tightens the rope essentially. Anything else other than just movement, or are you going to start? Well, so the actual pulling in won't happen obviously until Lenny's go.
Unless somebody reacts.
Well, the others to reel it in is an action. Only the person on it can just as a reaction. However, the effects of that will still play in, right? And obviously, it's up to Lenny when she reels it in. And it's weird to think about. Dante would know that they are going to move further forwards before Lenny gets to reel. So
can I? So hang on though. So if we move forwards.
But again, they're going to go before you do, so they're going to move.
Yeah, but they're not going before Dante does, and Dante's the one that moves.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Like
it's all
thematically, we're all going forwards together.
Yeah.
As long as in the turn order, they go forwards.
Yeah.
You go forwards, they go forwards, and then you go. So it's still tightrope. We don't have to stress on it.
Okay.
It's just my only concern is that say the rope is 120.
And you need to consider what the rope is going through. For example, if you were to pull to the right and round the slate crawler, your rope is getting caught on their vehicle.
That's why I've drawn it on the map.
For good or bad, right? You can use that as you will, but like it also could get you stuck on things. So be careful.
So if we're going to go forward, I'd suggest we almost follow the rope. Because we don't want to get another vehicle in between us and them.
No. That part's true.
I would say, Dante, you've been practicing. You can see some ways that you could go round, but it would require a roll.
No, that's fine. I'm just more wondering. Well, I'm thinking of this. Ichi, because we're on the same niche, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you've got in mind? Would you rather do something here or do something if I go closer? Without trying to meta.
I mean, as I said previously, in terms of initiative, it works better if you go first.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'll have more impact where we end up rather than where we are.
If we assume that is the case, but Ichi, if at any point, because obviously, like,
if at any point I'm like, oh, Dante, wait,
because if right now I can imagine when they've just smashed into you, they're in melee range, rangeable. You might want to at that point jump in and be like, before Dante rushes forwards, I'm going to go and stab them, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it just as long as we know, we'll do Dante first, and you can jump in whenever.
I'm not going to do the full 90. That's I think 80.
Okay. Oh, it's going to take. The rope will have to be changed.
I can do that. I was just like I said, I just thought it would be good to see where the rope was.
Yeah, for sure. And now almost pulling into a tight little huddle. The vehicles all close together. Dante and the group also. Sorry, go on.
Actually, wait, no. We already know that the tank takes like a turn, doesn't it?
It did seem to previously.
Cool. Well, then in that case, I'm going to keep this.
I would say again, Dante, you're probably thinking about this the most. One of them is probably only driving. and it's sort of like reload, aim, fire, aim, etc. Right. So there's going to be there might be some turns where it's not quite a whole turn in between, but for the most part, you think you're good. As you're driving up and past that, you do take a look to the ditch in the ground that contains, like for want of a better word, a mortar shell. It is like arm-sized, digging into and out of the ground. Solid piece of metal from the look of it. Okay, Ichi.
I've kept that distance just so they don't try to
Hmm.
press the button on our side or something like that.
Yeah.
It's difficult because obviously, like, we're kind of mainly trying to keep the mayhem to once we get like in the tunnels. So
I mean,
there's the guy to the side
this
of us.
is the part where we're going to struggle the most. Is this
this first bit, it's just going to be a week, like,
Just
just
to open-
wait and just go in.
So
And there's the wayfinder behind us.
I would do some fuckery now if we can, and then that's when we can.
And you do also have, remember, smoke bombs, a few little. You've got the powder kegs.
Powder kegs we want to save to the zigzags, don't we?
Yeah.
You might do, but obviously they're like there's things that each you could throw rather as opposed to.
I mean, I've got smoke bombs just open in my coat pockets that you could reach into and just grab. So I've got, I think, 3 left of those.
And Ichi's the one wearing the coat.
Yeah.
Ichi is also wearing the robe of useful items.
He is.
Right.
You could
Chuck
throw
a
a
dog
dog
at
at
someone.
them. Yeah.
I'm not going to throw a dog at someone.
Throw a dog at them.
Throw a dog at them.
Me and Emma on the exact same wavelength.
All right, I'm gonna
I mean,
try
if it's
something.
if
Should that be
it's a
the
Saint
title of this
Bernard or
episode?
something, yes, throw a dog at them. I mean, it could be a Rottweiler, right?
Just a little chihuahua. Just.
I mean, to be fair, Chihuahua would be a fucking nightmare.
Wow, was a danger.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
That in a cockpit.
Absolutely awful.
I'm gonna try something a little unorthodox, Liam.
Okay. I love it.
Woo!
As we're kind of, as you say, everything is happening simultaneously, and we've got this car riding our ass practically. Ichi is going to lean down, like again, holding on to the thing, and is going to just lean down with my kind of like weird plant kind of body. Ichi jabs their hand into the ground, and using the aspect of I have a borrowing speed, as we're driving, I am just dragging my hand, creating a plume of dust behind us, hopefully blinding the people behind and not wasting a smoke bomb.
Ooh.
Okay.
Using the borrowing speed to the fact that it won't wreck my hand, but allowing us to at least cause basically like a smoke trail behind us.
I like that.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
And I'm happy to like spend my full action, just leaning, angling it, just causing as much mayhem.
So what I'm going to say is, first of all, take inspiration because I really, really like that.
Nice.
Secondly, what we're going to do is it's going to be a dex from the driver behind, and the DC is going to be 8 plus your strength mod plus proficiency.
Okay, so that
See
will
how
be
big of a plume you can make.
So that'll be a DC of 14 if it's 8 plus proficiency plus my strength.
Okay, so you see the Desert Hopper not expecting this strange maneuver, like trying to see what's going on. Only with an 8, they take a blast of sand and dust to the face, and you can see that as it clears, the driver's sort of like shielding their eyes. Yes, because they are not goggled. The sandstorm person is all goggled up, but the Desert Hopper isn't. Yes, and I'll say that attacks from the people on the back are disadvantaged for the next turn, and the driver has disadvantage on any of its driving maneuvers if it needs to make them.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. That's my turn. I will not do anything for bonus action and such.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so first of all, the Yeah, so the guy on the right side of the trident, you see the flame at the back of their side of the vehicle cuts out completely, and the guy on the left side throws something over to them as they take what seems to be a small circular something, and they throw that backwards towards the dragonfire. The aim isn't great. It still sticks to the dragonfire, and you see that it's almost similar to the smoke bombs that you have, just in an almost larger form, as it sort of sticks and begins to emanating out smoke. But you can see that they were aiming for the slit that the dragonfire uses to see, but they more hit on top of the cannon itself. So there is it's not big enough to give cover to the vehicle, fortunately. But it also isn't big enough to block their view from where it landed. And they are actually going to use their... Yeah, okay. They also seem to turn back and seem to prepare for something. The slate crawler. Okay, so the slate crawler almost cuts their engines for a second and pulls 10 foot in, sweeping inwards towards you. And as they do, the bugbear swings outwards with the polearm, firstly towards Dante and then towards Estri. And it is 2 attacks mechanically, but it's almost like a sweeping across both of you. You would notice being a bugbear with a polearm is a 15-foot reach, as they almost extend fully, pulling all the way out across you. So the first one against Dante, your AC is +2 for the cover you have from where you're sat. 14 to hit you. Obviously, you don't have your shield, so if you never have a shield anyway, do you?
Yeah, fine.
So 14, you duck down and it just straight across the top as they swing towards Estrin. For much better with a 17, you see the polearm and the sort of blood as they cut across. And before then bursting, continuing to go forwards. So they went 10 to the left, and then 10, 20, 30, 40. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You would notice, and I would actually say that gathering the pace of them and how they've been, you would recognize that they are also taking the dot. They don't go as far as they can, and the driver is very fixed on sort of. They're nowhere near as fast or as dodgy as the sandstorm, but they are trying to avoid taking a blast in the back from one of those dragonfire blasts. As we then come to the Desert Hopper. So they 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 60. Okay, so they actually blitz forwards and match up next to you. Each of you notice they just you're leaning down, you pull back in as their driver is just blitzing forwards. They're not trying to turn or anything. They're just eyes shut, almost foot to the floor. As they pull up, you would see Barter looks over and you would hear them saying, they've attacked some sort of grapple. And before I might have something, and dropping back below and out of sight again. Yeah, so you would notice the orc on the back slaps in a new bolt into the ballista, and as they run their hands back up it seems again to almost grow small thorns and vines with an essence of green glow. And they tilt up and they are aiming again down for Dante. They're trying to get into the driver's seat.
Advantage because of the dust.
Yes, still.
Yes.
And you got your +2 on your thing, but they are trying to get a hit onto. 13 on the lower, but it's plus, what's it, 18 to hit? I don't know if that does on
As say we're going, Dante just kind of just swerves a little bit and then just goes.
Yeah, there's a quick zoop as the ballista over the shoulder and into the ground. You would notice that whatever magic was on didn't release. So you would gather it's on a hit, not on a shot.
I'm assuming I recognise that, Liam.
Yes, you would recognize that as ensnaring
Yeah.
strike.
So they have disadvantage on their driving as well, don't they?
If they make maneuvers, so if they, that's why he just blistered straight forwards. You don't have to make rolls to do forwards, but for anything complex or difficult. Okay, as we then come to Sandstorm. Sandstorm is going, so basically what I'm going to say is that while you are grappled to any vehicle, you reduce their speed by 20 feet.
Okay.
You are also pulled forwards as they move.
Excellent.
Woo! Normally. So in this case, as we said, we're out of time. So there is length of rope in this case to allow them to shift forwards, but they cannot move forwards past the 90 that they previously were.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
They can only go to the end of the rope, effectively.
Yeah. Before you reel them in, and then they'll have that distance as their maximum before they drag forwards. Okay. So they are in the first 70. There's no drag. As they hit that 90, they will then pull back and drag you forward some.
Right.
70. Chris, can you measure forwards? 170, please.
Just straight forward from the driver.
Pull us more. They are going. Basically straight forwards from the driver. So I will.
If you want, I can make him points. So like,
I will try and grab you both, but if I miss anybody, feel free. So first of all, we're going to halt here, as they do not move for you, and they do sort of angle you so that you are going to collide, and that is where we are going to take a pause for part one.
Oof.
Thank you very much for joining. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the Doomhakre and the events so far, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. This is the end of part one. Part two airs Sunday, 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll